Good morning, students. Welcome to the second chapter of second year economics. The title of the second year economics second chapter is Population and Human Resource Development. So, in this chapter, before this chapter, in the first chapter, we have seen what is economic growth and what is economic development, how they are distinguished. After understanding economic growth and economic development, even you understood the basic features of developed countries and developing countries. Understood? So, after that, you have to see the second chapter, that is the population and human resource development. What actually we are going to see in this chapter? The first important theory we are going to see, that is a demographic transition theory. What is demography? Demography, the science which deals about population. What is demography? The science which deals about population. So, in this theory, you are going to see about three important stages. After understanding this theory, you are going to see that what are the causes for high birth rates in India, and in what way education play important role in economic development, in what way health play important role in economic development, what is urbanization, what is birth rate, what is death rate, what is infant mortality rate, what is maternal mortality rate, what is fertility rate. All these we are going to see in this chapter. So here, first of all, you have to understand what is the theory of demographic transition. The theory of demographic transition, nothing but the theory which explains about population. This theory was given by the economist, that is Robert Malthus. What is the economist's name? Robert Malthus. The Robert Malthus, the person who felt that population actually becomes a burden for every nation. Why? Because if population grows in a geometric proportion like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, like that. If population grows in a geometric proportion and food grains grow in arithmetic proportion 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So which is growing very faster? Population is growing very faster. So whenever population grows faster, whenever food grains grow very slow, automatically imbalance takes place. The people may die because of starvation, no food to eat. So that's why population will become burden for a nation, according to Malthus. But here the economists who came after Malthus, they argued that the population will not become burden if the population is utilized, if they are skilled, if they are educated. So that's why what we have to do, we have to make use of the existence population in any economy. We have to make them wise, we have to make them educated. Then we can easily use them for the development of the country. That's why there is a special description, special explanation about human resource development. Understood? So whom should we develop? Whom should we educate? We should educate human being. We should educate population. Then the country progress. So that also we are going to. So in that, which actually play important role? Both education and health play important role. That's why we are going to see more details about health and education in this chapter. Understood? Now coming to the theory of demographic transition. In this you are going to see three stages. How many stages? Three stages. So every country actually passes through these three stages. Understood? What is first stage? What is second stage? What is third stage? And in the world, if you see, some countries are in the first stage, second stage some countries, third stage some countries. and which countries come under first stage. What about India? That you are going to see now. See, in the first stage what will happen? Most of the economies which were backward and which were underdeveloped, generally those countries come under the first stage. Generally, the countries which are there in the first stage, those countries are backward and those are underdeveloped. And those countries are primarily depend on which? They primarily depend on agriculture. That is very important. And in these countries, generally the countries which depend on agriculture, there is little industry or no industry. Understood? So most of the population depend on agriculture. They get their income from agriculture. You may or may not find a industry. Understood? And next one, other important thing you have to observe, the basic feature, very important feature of first stage is high birth rate and high death rates. That means more number of children actually take their birth and even more number of people may die in the first stage. So both birth rate as well as death rates are high. And in this explanation, first you have to understand what is birth rate. See, I have given a sentence here. What is birth rate? So birth rate is ratio of number of births among 1000 population. For example, in your village, there is the population of your village is 1000 last year. But this year what happened? Just 10 children added newly. What is the population of your village now? 1010. So for every 1000, how many new are being added? That is called birth rate. So ratio of number of births among 1000 population, that is called birth rate. In 1951, in our country, the birth rate was 39.9. That means for every 1000, 39.9 persons were being added. And in 2012, it is 21.6. That means for every 1000, how many we are adding? 21.6 we are adding newly. Understood? For every 1000 we are adding how many? 21.6 people we are adding. That is called birth rate. Try to understand. Then what is death rate? The ratio of number of deaths among 1000 population. That means previously in your village there was 1000 population, but this year if you count, it comes 990. That means 10 children have passed away, died. So for every 1000 population, how many they were actually passing away? The number of deaths among 1000 population. For example, there is 2000 population. If per 1000, if 10 children die means for every 1000 how many die? 5 people die. Understood? So in that way, the ratio of number of deaths among 1000 population in 1951, for every 1000, nearly 27.4 people were passing away. For every 1000, how many were passing away? 27.4 people were actually dying. And in 2012, just 7 people were dying. Just 7 people were passing away. That is called death rate. So what you have to understand here? So in the first stage of that country, particularly, both birth rates and death rates are high. Whenever the coming people and going people, in and out, same, do you find any growth in the population? Generally, the growth is somewhat less. Understood? So in this the first stage, you have to understand what are the reasons for such birth rates. Why there were more birth rates. See, some important reasons they are explaining here. Social customs. And because of social customs, the people may feel that the children become assets than liability. More number of hands. If we have more hands, we may get more income. By sending children, even by sending children, they earn income, they get income. What they think, what parents think. That's why they consider children as an asset in the first stage. If they have more children, they earn more. That's what actually parents think. Because of that, they consider to have, they may feel that is children as asset than liability, and even social beliefs also led to have large families. You have to distinguish, you have to know the difference between a large family and and a small family. So large family means the family in which you may find more number of children. Understood? Then these are the causes for birth rates in the first stage. And what are the causes for death rates? I told you in the beginning that both birth rate and death rates are high. So what are the causes for high death rates? Poor diet. That means no food to eat. Primitive sanitation, no cleanliness. Absence of medical facilities. There were no medical facilities. And also because of that, that is there were more deaths. And even infant mortality, maternal mortality rates were also high. Understood? What is infant mortality rate? Try to understand what is infant mortality rate. Here I have given the number of children, ratio of number of children among 1000 born children. The ratio of number of deaths among 1000 born children. See what happened in the month of July in your village. 10 children have taken their birth. But among 10, if 5 die, that means some children may die before 1 year. They may not continue their life. They may die. So for how many? For 1000 children, how many were actually? How many are passing away before 1 year? After their birth, before 1 year, how many children are actually dying? That is considered as infant mortality rate. Don't consider death rate. Death rate is different from infant mortality rate. Here you are considering only children, not all, not adults. Understood? So here infant mortality rate in 2001 in our country it was 63. That means for every 1000 newly born children, 63 were dying, 63 were passing away. Next in 2011 it has come down to 40. That means for newly, if you take 1000 newly born children, the total mandal or total country, for every 1000, how many were passing away? 40 were passing away. So infant mortality is next maternal mortality. We have to understand maternal mortality. It is the ratio of delivery deaths for 1 lakh women. Delivery deaths. Delivery deaths means what? At the time of giving birth to a baby, how many women are dying at the time of giving birth to a baby? For 1 lakh we are considering. Why? Because this number is less. So for 1 lakh. In 2001-2002, 301 women were dying. For 1 lakh, don't take it as for 1000. You have to take for 1 lakh. So 2011-12, nearly 301 women were dying. Until 2011, it is 178. And 12th 5-year plan objective, that is 2012 to 2017. That is the duration of 12th 5-year plan. The main aim of 12th 5-year plan was to reduce this maternal mortality rate to 100. That is by 2017 they have to reduce that maternal mortality rate to how much? 100. So I hope students you understood what are the important features of the first stage. So India was also there in the first stage up to 1921. You have to understand that. Up to 1921, India was in the first stage. That means you can see all these characteristics in India, even in case of India, up to 1921. That's what we have to understand. Now coming to the second stage. In the second stage, all the countries, they are economically good. That means they have got sources of income. And in the second stage, you can see that is the death rates actually come down, birth rates continue to rise. Because of that reason, you can find population explosion, which is very important. So birth rates remain high. That means birth rates remain high, birth rates continue to increase, but death rates come down. Because of that reason, you can find population explosion. What is population explosion? If population increases in a rapid way, that is considered population explosion. Population increase in a rapid way, very fast. Where do you observe this? In the second stage you observe, and even in case of India also, after 1921 you can see this feature, that is population explosion. Understood? So here, what are the reasons for that is what death rates? Why do you find more birth rates, less death rates? You have to find the reasons for more still high rate of birth rates and low death rates. What are the reasons for low death rates? The first important one is greater availability of food. In the first is poor diet. That means there was no food to eat. Because of that, people actually died in the first stage. But in the second stage, availability of food supplies, more food is available, but so no need to die. And the second one is even the economy is in a position to control epidemics and dreadful diseases. The diseases which actually came, those diseases were completely kept under control. In earlier days, before 1921 in India, if some diseases come, there was no treatment. People have to die, that's all. Government also cannot control that such a diseases. Take for example plague and cholera, such diseases. If such diseases come, there was no care. There was no treatment. Because of that, people used to die. Understand? So in that way, the control of epidemics and diseases and also spread of health consciousness, the people have got consciousness about their health and they know that is what prevention is better than cure. They know that, that's why they take all the steps to have good health. Because of that, death rates actually come under control. Even availability of life-saving drugs and medicine. Life-saving drugs and medicine. Nowadays, all people are fighting. Government is keeping its best efforts to invent a vaccine for COVID-19. That is what Corona. So, whenever we have got such life-saving drugs and medicine, people need not to worry. So, same thing happened in the second stage. The treatment came for so many diseases, so death rates came down. And since 1921, you can find in case of India actually entered in the second stage in 1921. Before 1921, India was in the first stage, but India entered in the second stage from 1921. Yes, children. Yes, students. Just now we have seen the second stage. So, second stage features you have seen, that is the birth rates remain high, but death rates come down. And what are the reasons for coming down of the death rates? Just now we have seen. Now let us see the third stage, third important stage, that is generally in all developed countries you can see the third stage. In the third stage you can see the economy moves higher level of development. Where we will find the economy generally moves to higher level of development. And generally general spread of education actually spreads, and even all will understand the advantages of small families. That means if we have small families, what are the advantages? All people come to know. In what way we can have better standard of living, in what way we can have better quality of life if we have the small families. All people come to know, they understand the advantages of small family. And even you have to understand that in the first stage what you have seen, the parents consider children as an asset, but they consider more of liability. They consider children as more of liability and less of asset. More of liability and less of asset. That means they may feel if we have more children, it will become burden, and more children will become not an asset. So they consider more of liability than, that is what, asset. That is less of asset. You have to understand. And next one, even the spread of family education. The family education, whenever the family education spread, it changes the attitude of women and they go for small families. So that's why they have given here. Generally, the spread of family education changed the attitude of women. And in the first stage we have seen, if we have more hands, if we get more income, what the people felt. But in this stage, in the third stage, if we have less hands, we can have better standard of living. That's why the spread of family education changed the attitude of women. Even women also think in a better way, that they give importance to small families. And these all changes actually take place first in urban areas, that is towns and cities. Later those changes spread to the villages, that we have to understand. And because of that is what, in the third stage both birth rates and death rates actually come down. A new equilibrium actually takes place. New equilibrium, new position you can observe in the third stage. And finally you can see this third stage particularly in developed countries. Understood? So far what we have discussed today, that what is the demographic transition theory. The first theory, which was given by the Robert Malthus, and he explained that how population will become burden, how every country should pass through three important stages, and what about India, when actually it entered into the second stage that we discussed. I hope students you understood the first important topic in the second chapter of second year economics. Thank you.